I don't have like my audio coming out of the speakers here.
What is it with that? Testing. Okay, it should
Oh, there
work.
it is. I think it should be going on.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Okay.
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 Okay. But too excited. We're waiting on things.
Way too excited. Oh my gosh. Like, that's funny. How did I do that? So, read the owl too.
Let's just ask, can anyone online hear us?
Doesn't.
Can you guys hear us online, Brent?
Shows my audio is being received. I think like it's going.
Yeah.
Like it's still.
And like that green means someone's talking, so it's here.
Yeah, that's it's hearing. Yeah.
So maybe we just wait for someone else to try.
You did. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh.
That's right. I was right.
So you get this screen.
Yeah, yeah, just to kind of make sure that, like, there is technology, because there's no nominations, like. I did, let's. I just. Well, especially yesterday.
Well.
I know. That's it. So the only thing that is in. So I played it on before. What are you here? No. What? What's that?
You make it private.
What's that? Oh, yeah. I was just walking. It's nice. So, what do you think about it? And the body. Because of the trend, and she just started running a bunch of guys, and she's like, I'm trying to light it here. But you know, they have to react. And he just started. That's how it was. This is kind of the neighborhood. Oh, yeah, it's not stopping. Lisa, we're looking for it, and they didn't know I did, but it was just, they don't work on that. They're just kind of, you know, check business. Or how I still didn't want to cover some. Yeah, it's the third story experience. I mean, I expect it's sort of the store. Oh, are they? Yeah. Finally? Well, just like, well, maybe Kim will tell you, like, I did, the day part was the opening years. Thank you. I was there, and the fence guy, when we left up the picture on the very next day, because we heard me talking to him on the phone, I was like, very direct, and I started finding things that were. Like, I went, I had that over, to get stuff, like, lower on. So I called Tim, and then I talked to Tim, and then the next day I called him back and talked to him. Today Shelby called me, she said, we're gonna take the stairs down and do one, and then our new side. Just made it say we're not fine. I don't know, whatever I said. I think I was resting.
Insane.
Everyone is. Wow. Hey.
So, yeah.
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 Where's your?
So.
School and because okay, it's you know, I wish I got on or
You know, when we guys like to do the rotation.
That would be.
What do you think?
Favorite part of it?
I was like, started, and I'm like, oh, whoops. Yeah.
I don't know. It's you. Yeah.
It's just like a Star Wars. No, really, it's like,
Or they look, they know
yeah, they're not even, like, they're super small, like, but you're more easy, like, or maybe like, yeah, like, kind of got to sign the things.
But I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So.
Last time I was in Florida, I didn't think that.
Then you gallery. So I just want to have to eat.
I had to get
You know. That's the rates for it. I don't really trade it.
Everyone felt like.
So I think that's important.
Yes.
Yeah.
The test thing, whatever tomorrow.
As you know, I mean, still.
Yeah, you're gonna actually use.
But, very good. Oh, yeah. Got that good, like, so. Yeah, I got another one. It's like.
There's some really. Like the office. Yeah. They give you. You can mix it. Not that unit, but. People. The longer you put there.
And the other two is like.
Yeah, it's a about.
No,
No, you.
Don't you just for scrappy?
I feel like.
Okay, everybody, thanks for coming. We're gonna start the meeting. So, thank you for coming tonight for the Central City Neighborhood Council meeting. We're gonna go ahead and do introductions. We'll go around like always and state your name and why you're here. So, I'm Austin Taylor. I'm a Central City resident. I live at about 7 South 4th East, and I'm a board member of the Neighborhood Council. Ava?
Annie Isaacson, I live at 3 South and 3rd East.
Seth Brown, I live at the Worthington.
Rebecca West representing Sea Lighting.
Greg Clinton, Green Street.
Mona, great, and I also live on the street. Right, yeah, my first words.
Then works at the South with these folks and sure.
And then Ingle, with the Hollywood condos and First South, across from the Big Marks Cathedral.
I'm Rebecca Allen with the City of School.
Sean Taylor, actually a resident in East Liberty.
I'm a senior route. I also am a resident of East Liberty Park and a cruise server.
Tim Cosgrove, citywide liaison for Mayor Newman. And I just had to show you this photo. I took the moose when I walked in. You don't know how lucky you are to live here.
Did you howl?
Did I what?
Did you howl?
Oh.
Only the best district court resident.
I'm gonna go up to the room after this meeting.
Yeah, there's a whole howl session over there.
Video or it didn't happen, Tim?
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
That's
Don't be good stuff, yeah.
There we are.
Secretary and then the board leads and the staff. And Jenny Starley, vice chair, and I live near Top of Park.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Get lost. City updates is next.
Yeah, that's it.
No, you're actually doing the glasses. Can we start with Ava? Is that okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a warmer cold, mostly been cold today. Thanks for having me, everybody. Did everyone have good Thanksgiving first? Good. Did you eat lots of turkey? Hopefully it wasn't dry. I want to thank you guys. If you flip the page, some of you, if you haven't gotten it, I'm passing that down. So we have our regular updates from the top, but the best updates are actually on page 6. We go to the bottom one. And I just want to go through this with you. Each year, I've committed to each of you to do a case trend to show you what's happening in District 4. We've been tracking this now for the second year, and it's been really interesting to watch our caseload grow. Part of that is because we have an increase of reporting. But if you look at this consistently, and we'll send this out, we're still digesting it to look at the rest of the city. So look at CompStat, to see quantitatively what else is being examined, what's happening in your city. But to show you in 2024, graffiti removal, so a great casework there and a good team. Lots of illegal parking. If you remember, we were working with the Central City crew on lots of RV parking, lots of illegal parking here on 3rd East, 2nd East, for example, and lots of potholes and encampments. Now, as we look to our case trends, what I've really seen is a growth in illegal parking stall. So if you see that, please report it. That's something that's really important, especially because our budget currently doesn't complete, it doesn't have a service for removing those vehicles. It's a question that we'll have to ask eventually in the budget. And graffiti removal is still something that's common, but of course we see hazardous waste. And if you break down the data even further, we see a lot of park activity. So a lot of our policies as District 4, some of them are being guided through this reporting system. So tell your neighbors to sign up for My SLC app. It's a great way to report us. You're giving us the most accuracy. We can actually pull up a heat map now, and we're updating that transparency tracker so people can go in and actually see where is it happening. Is it right next to my neighborhood? Is it by an elementary school or by a public park? That way we can see and start to understand that better. Some more exciting news though is in reaction to our yet again failing federal government, we have a food bank coming up. So Food Justice Coalition is a District 4 formed nonprofit. They've been around about 6 years. And what they do is they serve food and nutrient-dense, rich food to different individuals. You don't have to be home. This is anybody. I've gone and served food, and I feel a lot of our neighbors that are underserved and privileged, or maybe don't have the excess funds to go have a nice free meal. So they come to the Christmas dinner that we hosted. So on Christmas, you can go there, or if you want to support while you know you're at home, just come on by to our Santa meet and greet. So it's the first District 4 Santa meet and greet. I committed to each of you. There's a lot of reactivity at City Hall, and we all know that. There's lots of crises all around us, but we forget that there's a lot of joy too in living in the city and a lot of community to me. So I want you all to go bring your dog if you don't have a baby. If you got a babe, take your baby to meet Santa. I love the little photos when babies are kind of crying and freaking out. It's kind of sad. Yeah. So it's if you look on it right here, I have it on. Oops, sorry. Whatever reason. Just confirm. Give me a sec. 1 second. December 13th. So it's a Saturday, and from noon to 2 p.m. and it's going to be on the 2nd floor. So if you just walk up the east steps at City Hall, it's going to be up there. Please, you can bring your pet. That's confirmed safe. You'll have a waiver if you need one. It's absolutely free. So if you know of any kids, people that want to take a photo with Santa but can't afford the 20, $30 a piece to take a photo with Santa. Do know we have a Santa coming at City Hall. So super exciting. I always wondered why City Hall doesn't become the Christmas getaway. We should have a little market there, a little Christmas criddle market. So these are the type of ideas that I still want to work on. We're headed into that tough budget year that I told you all about, but I wanted to make sure we have the opportunity to see that we're still celebrating that. There's lots of neighbors that we haven't met. The last time we did an event, the outcome, and you were there, Austin, we saw lots of kids, lots of neighbors, and the majority of people that showed up were families that were just walking by City Hall. We did a pop-up movie event. I'm sure you guys remember the advertisement for that. And it was the cutest thing to just watch people walk up and say, I just pulled over because I saw this movie and I saw this free, but my city's hosting it. So we want to get the word out. We don't want this to be experimental. We want to make sure this is the tradition, not just in Central City, but in District 4. And finally, wanted to let you know some important streetscape Japantown funding. We had voted on that last year. The design is being implemented. So we're going to break ground next year. Very exciting news. And then tonight is the Code Blue night. And what that means is it is a night where temperatures drop to 18, thank you, 18 degrees Fahrenheit. I was like, not 32? Yeah, thank you. 18 degrees Fahrenheit. Second and Second Church is still helping us, and that they are still actively creating space for individuals that are sheltered or in need of shelter. So if you see folks, call the non-emergency or emergency number depending on the crises at hand. And then if you'll give me a sec to do a non-city council update. So this is Canada Ava coming to you. If you've read the news, then you probably know the leak already, but I'm running for Congress. And I'm really excited for it. Yeah, that's how I felt too. And I know when I looked in the mirror, I think I'm running for Congress. Oh my gosh. No. And you know what? I just want to share with you, I will have the opportunity to earn your support in another leadership position. I first want to say I'm dedicated to this community first and foremost. And so I want to make sure that everyone knows and feels secure that your neighborhood's going to be taken care of. And secondly, I want to say this is we talked about the crises at hand. We've talked about how we don't have a good civic community, and that's just untrue. And the bravest thing to do is run for office. So I'm going to try with all my best and heart and courage to fight for each and every one of you. And I want you to know this is deeply personal to me because it's the only way I can help my family. It's actually the only way I can help my grandmother. And there's a lot of things I'd like to share. You guys know that my family has gone through struggle. They've been undocumented for a very long time. And for me, this is about saying enough to the problems and crises at hand. So I hope to earn your support. And in the meantime, I hope each of you step up to help our little district because we're going so rapidly and we have some immense fights ahead of us. So thank you for the time. Very soon, the 15th. Starts on the 15th. It's crazy. I mean, by now you guys know it was crazy. It's okay. We all know that. Yeah.
Let's give a round of applause. Well, it takes a lot of guts and it's a competitive race. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars that seems to be donated already. So
yeah,
good luck to Ava.
Listen, it's a time to elevate.
I think if you want to talk like congressional stuff, if you have questions for her, maybe you can stay after.
Yeah.
Time if you guys have questions.
I'm gonna run out because I got to get to another meeting, but I will absolutely I would love the opportunity to speak at another meeting and time. Absolutely, it's on the page. It'll be ava4utah.com, EVA4utah.com. It's not launched yet on the 15th. But in short, the best part about being the only council member running for this seat is that, and there's others that have served, of course, but to talk about the relevant issues. And what I realized is actually so much of the federal government is our safety net. It's the last lifeline for so many of our neighbors. The issues you and I debate and talk about every day on how our tax base is being used, every day is decided at the federal level. So it's brave. And at the same time, I feel immense courage doing this. So I can't wait to come knock on your door. It'll give me a chance to meet all of you again. So, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ava. Let me just also reiterate one thing that she said. If you haven't been to the Methodist Church for the second movie nights that they do, make this the winter that you do that. It's a great experience. It's needed. They perform a needed service, and they've expanded it also into the Episcopal Church next to it because there's just so much demand for it. So make this the winter that you do it if you haven't already. Library, do you have any announcements for library? Thanks. We've been pushing your visioning plan things. Cool.
Didn't get to the survey and have additional thoughts, so we reach out to me and maybe we can share a comment as well.
Sounds good. I took the survey. I hope you guys did. So thanks for doing that. Rebecca, any updates from you?
Blue volunteer, they have a new director this year, Maria Cutler, and she's very, very organized from what I hear. So should be a really cool thing. Last resource fair, and we had 700 unique individuals, so that was really good. I mean, 3 years ago when I started, I think we were just happy for 200, so we are building trust in our community, so that's good. And we are doing, Community Neighborhoods is doing a fundraiser for breath havens. You can drop off stuff at our office, 445 City Hall, anything that pets need, leashes, dog food, kitty food, whatnot, if you have anything lying around. Just someone try to drop off some used dog toys, and they roughly don't want to do that, but it's City Hall, 445. Yeah, so we set the time.
Well, okay.
Till 11. Yeah. Yep, and as always, we're always looking to make our resource fairs bigger and better, so county businesses, organizations, better.
Cool. Thank you, Kate. Tim, got updates?
Just to reiterate on David and Rebecca with the shelter space being full at the homeless resource centers. People can still call the 801-990-9999 number to find shelter. Because sometimes there's still ways. I just met with a lady who's 9 months pregnant, living out of her car. She doesn't know when she's gonna have her child, doesn't have insurance. Just met with her before I came to this meeting. So I just want to reiterate, there's always extenuating circumstances that we're gonna get you out. Somehow, some way, we're gonna get you out. But I want to give you that number, 801-990-9999. Oh, Boo, yep. I had a few issues this week. Then, yeah.
Place scary.
Start with Brandy's. But we have a CAT team, community action team. We're made up of the health department, civil enforcement, law enforcement, mayor's office, UDOT, Department of Public Adult Probation, and parole, adult protective services, essentially anything and everything that we need at our fingertips for these complex issues. We had one this week, Monday. 239 East, 200 South, the old Decanter Data Center generator building. So it's supposed to be boarded and secured. Got that email, got it to the inspector, able to notify the owner. It's supposed to be boarded and secured now. It's not letting them. Still not.
Is that the dark building?
Yeah. Not the pipeline, you're talking about road.
No, the
Yeah.
data center.
Sorry, thinking you're.
Yeah, the old public safety building, so that's being addressed by our real estate services director, Logan. He's actually out of the office right now. But that information on the growth has been forwarded to him. So we expect to follow up early this next week. Red truck and RVs out in front of Liberty Senior Citizens Center and the Riverside Apartments. Always contact my SOC. That goes into a queue. We have a RIT team called Rapid Intervention Team. They address it because, as you all know, people living out of RVs, people living out of cars, they tend to move around, find places where they can park. And if they're sitting up there longer than they should be, get it in the queue, make sure they know. I have forwarded that information. I know they went by there on Tuesday and verified. Yes, they were there. I don't know if they're still there, please. They moved a block away. Till we get some other additional services from the state to help with some spaces, some places. That's the current pattern that we have. Topper Park, the fence came down this week. Our executive director, Kim Shelley, emailed me today. So she went over there, actually met with police. They seem to like it better. It's opened up the lines of sight for the park. I know we're still working to address the Mary tree.
Oh, Shelley, she did tell you that, like, she told me what we're doing.
So by Friday, you'll see. So part of the plan with the 40% of the design in place, we finalized that. Now we're moving towards 70% of that design that's being rolled out. And they've rushed this piece of it because that was in the 70% of the design plan, that it's going to be addressed, begin to be addressed by this Friday. So
I'm just thankful that they took some action, something, I'm so grateful. Thank you to you and thank you to Shelley and the Parks Department. Because it needs to be safe and respectable with people to go, maybe. I'm not meaning to say, worship or things that or like whatever, and when people are there inside it. So I want to say
I went and met with them yesterday morning, so they're.
thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. I really appreciate
That being on the city strip side of the park, that wouldn't really normally be included in the design.
Well, it's because that we are the adjacent property owner. So the parks does have the right for that, for the management, just like you would on that right away in front of your house, you would have the responsibility of watering the trees, trimming the weeds. We have that responsibility. But that's good.
In the past, they've said, well, I don't see it as a ballot.
Yeah.
From Bishop Solar, so I have that one several times.
Yeah, it's kind of taken on one of those folk stories where it's a shrine. And people look at the shrine for faith-based reasons, for restoration.
Whoever is right wants to have to appreciate that.
Not in the Catholic faith, but you would have to be blessed by,
Oh.
But for that reason, it is kind of the only shrine we have in Salt Lake City and nothing from that.
It should be beautiful. Exactly safe. So,
yes. 337 Pocket Park. Have you heard about that?
Survey's closed.
Survey's
So-
It's all taken.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I looked on it today. There was 168.
Yeah.
So you got the word out. You helped compliment that. It's exciting. So 337 South, 400 East, fun little space that you get to design a pocket park. So the survey closed, and Drew Badger, he's the project. So I sent an email to him this week. He's ready, he's excited. He's gonna come to the Central City when you guys are ready and share an update with that. So excited for that. Anything else for me? Yes.
The amount of dog food along 400 East and 500, well, 400 East, which was 406, and that is astonishing.
Fourth East.
Oh, yeah. And also on 4th South by Park. It's from all the America.
Yeah.
It's like, what, how can we hold these property managers? It's so bad.
So we've had this issue come up a few different places within the city. Parks is trying to complement those along our byways by putting in bags, and then our rangers and Parks Department becomes responsible for cleaning it. What what we tried to do is reach out to some of the residential towers and work with their property managers, show them a dog receptacle stand. The city attorney is actually looking at to see the viability of doing like a public-private partnership, because we had a veterinarian that reached out to us that wants to put his logo on the dog poop bags, which is very, very invasive. And then it gets the dog owners a place that they can go to take their pets, right? So if we kind of can marry or merge these two together to create a partnership where they're putting the dog poop receptacles in their parking strip area, and then either community councils, veterinarians take the responsibility to refill those dog food stations.
Well, it just people use that, but not a good receptacle, I mean, you can't force them to.
Yeah.
They're not.
Seems like it's
The one on 400 East, or, the citizen, they have a new dog in their park area.
Yeah, we have a few that the Altera has one behind theirs, and it is used. I get complaints sometimes that it's full. People put their trash in the receptacle as opposed to the dog food, and it gets overfull.
It was just, yeah, just one way to do it, there's to enforce.
We have the same challenge on Second Set and 50s too.
One of the most effective thing is would go out by the computer and get out really, really slow, and then people can see it.
And then flame, right? Shave.
So.
Shave.
Be ready to hand out bags. And do this.
Let me do some research, because I wonder if that can be like, we have very little room to live for next year. Those are the type of project 40K might solve, right? Instead of thinking of it from expensive capital issue, but I think you're right. Whether that was just kind of holding to the we've looked at it in several ways, and education's not enough. Compliance isn't enough. You said it probably or you could be excited.
I think part of the challenge is
Well,
that.
sorry, we gotta move on to the next.
We have a new urban services department, but they don't have the capacity to serve that just then.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I'll stick around after. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys. It's the next. Oh, committee updates. Yeah. So I'm gonna give the transportation committee update because Troy couldn't make it. So he has a few things he wanted to share with everybody. So first is there was a transportation projects open house on November 20th, focused on South Temple. They did a whole lot of advertising, but it was requested by Wasatch Elementary, just another place for residents to provide feedback. So nothing new there. There were plans to reconstruct the north portion of 400 East. I think he's referring to 4th South to South Temple. In 2026, we saw it listed during the future projects open house, but transportation, let's see. It looks like transportation pulled it from their reconstruction list. So it's no longer planned, it's no longer listed on there. And then from Livable Streets, he says, I haven't heard from Livable Streets on the timing of their traffic calming installations. Last I heard, it could be as soon as later winter to early spring, but I'll check soon. Next update is I met with Will Becker and an engineer from transportation on the 7th South, 7th East crossing and the 7th South Neighborhood Byway CIP. They should have some rough sketches and cost estimates for us soon. This is the next CIP that Troy will be applying for us, just 700 South Neighborhood Byway. So the 6th East one was very successful. And then it says I may have mentioned at the last meeting, but in case I didn't, I was told the 6th East Neighborhood Byway CIP would likely be combined with the reconstruction of some parts of the street and should happen in the next few years. So that's it. And as always, if you're interested in working on transportation stuff in our neighborhood, you should contact Troy and he'll put you to work. Thanks. Let's go to Public Safety Committee. Brandon, do you have any updates? Do you have any updates for public safety?
should be part of 2 days ago. It's been-
Toffer Park? Okay.
People issues, the cops have been there and to do to addressing that frequently. And yeah, so it's been good. Nothing really else to mention unless I'm getting from down on the question. I never did.
I just have one question. So the police department was gonna put together a green spaces team.
They did, yes.
So are they live now? Are they out in the parks? Okay.
There's some pictures, parties, smart lights. I need to get all their names, like introduce myself to them. I met them the other day in passage. But I have a meeting with, we both had a meeting with, one day with Amanda North and County Other Plans, running stuff, so all we're doing on that, and what's going on, what it's all about. And we had a,
They can have more PD is like looking at those efficiencies to overlap work. What they found is Kristen got some of my time where officers are getting off shift due to the union deal that they made with them. And so they're trying to amend that. So that there is overlap. So they would do 4 10s instead of we split, they can only do 8 hours at a time. So they're gonna elongate so that way they can stay on shift longer and have overlap.
usually, for nighttime, we went.
But yeah, they're working really hard. Chief Brad is working really hard. Policies that we're expecting to trespass on parks, trespass on public right of way to come with us in the final January. We were just waiting for the list on board. Yeah.
And as we move into winter, be aware of warming fires, or if you have any vacant buildings nearby, just watch out for that. People like to sneak inside, start fires to stay warm, and then it gets out of hand. The building catches on fire. So please report warming fires that you see or any break-ins to vacant buildings that you see. Okay, any other committee updates? Okay, so yeah, the next thing we have is,
Does, we want to ask Andy, is there anything from land use?
oh, that's right.
Well, so I don't know if you guys remember Frank had a baby, so it's like Travis, Howard and I are handling the land use until January. Yeah, he had a baby. And, so, we basically, he's getting from Justin, you know, the stuff coming from planning, et cetera. And we're looking at each one individually. So one that just had 12 days notice was the one that was the synagogue turn museum that they're building all around. And we talked about it, and we think they got historic landmark approval. You know, the people, there's a relationship between the property owner, the synagogue, and the development. So we think they've done a pretty good job of mimicking some of the elements from the synagogue. We all kind of wish it wasn't so high that it wasn't going to cast a shadow on it, but it's with the former RMU code and with planning design review. So it's kind of like a no-brainer that it's going to get passed through. There is another project that, you know, Cindy talked about, a series of residences that they're trying to upzone. So we're still talking about that, but we're basically taking each thing as it's referred to CCNC and we're doing it. But if you guys have an adjacent property next to you that you're concerned about or your own, it's really good for you guys to speak up because, you know, we can't respond to every single thing that happens in Center City Library Council, but if someone is an affected property, either it's their property or they're within a certain proximity of it, that really gets heard well from, you know, the public hearing. So if you have an affected property near you or it's your own, please come right here so that we can get it worked on. Okay?
And I wanted to show this to provide an example of how the land use committee that Annie's on and just CCNC overall had an impact here. Well, when this developer came to our council, they had the driveway as the front door. And we said, you know, this is a walkable neighborhood, it's pedestrian oriented. Let's see the front facade be fully pedestrian. And so you can see there's no longer a driveway as that middle archway. Instead, the driveway is on the side of the building and it enters the side. So looks a lot more better. It's a lot more pleasing. It's,
Which side is that?
so that's on the south side. They're building an alley on the south side of this building.
Next to the driving.
Next to the
Yeah.
driveway. That's right. And if you guys remember too, I mean, it was a little bit worse. It was garage entrance and dumpster.
Yeah.
So those are both gone. So really cool. That's just good work from everybody. So. Okay. That's right. And that's, you know, once that's built, it could be there for 100 years, but that's a little impactful. Okay, I think that's it for our committee updates. And so we're gonna move on to neighborhood council board elections. Jenny's going to run the election.
Hey, I need to be able to share.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Our election this year is using your phone or device. So get your device ready. There's a piece of paper you can write. And we'll add it to the total. Okay, so, bear with me one second. Okay, so first of all, before we get started with the voting, we wanted to check, we have people that did reach out to us who are interested in positions, but we wanted to check now to see if there is any additional nominations for any of our board positions. So that includes the chair, the vice chair, the secretary, the treasurer, or an at-large board position. So if you have one of those positions that you would like to nominate yourself or someone else for, you could do that now.
You need consent, but then should we nominate them or should we just do it?
You will need their consent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's all.
Because they're committed.
Yes, yeah, but then we'll go into that. Yeah.
So we do
Okay.
have some people that are looking to fill the Dustin's position.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll give it 30 more seconds for any floor nominations.
Council member? No.
Well, it's just
But
the
the-
board member has to either live in Central City or have a business in Central City and has been here 3 times.
3 times.
But yeah, you can nominate anyone. Yeah.
He has actually been nominated for one of our at-large.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect, but yeah, he is wonderful. I agree.
He's gonna-
Like, let me make sure. Okay.
He's gonna-
Okay, all right, so then in that case, I'm just gonna go through a few items for our bylaws. Nominations are now closed for the executive board, so we'll go through the election. As stated in our bylaws, the executive board shall be elected each year at a general meeting, primarily the November or December. And all elected members serve 1-year terms beginning at the next scheduled general meeting. Voting is open to any member, and members must be at least 16 years old, have attended 1 previous meeting, and live or work within our Central City neighborhood boundaries. And then our candidates for the executive board must have attended at least 3 general meetings over the prior year. Okay, so that being said, each nominated person will kind of do this position by position. So each nominated person will be given 2 to 3 minutes to just share a little bit about themselves and describe why they're willing to serve in that position over the next year. And because we only have 1 candidate for each of these positions, we'll do a confirmation vote. Otherwise, we would have done a multiple choice vote, and full results will be announced after each vote, and the winning candidate will be declared elected, and each vote will be open for 90 seconds. So we're gonna go ahead and open up the first voting. And that will be question 1. Let me see. Will not. Question 1. Okay. So So it should pop up on your screen. And that should have popped up there as well. There's one.
Do we want to give people like 1 minute? for
Yeah.
Candidates.
Yeah, so, and that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna just pause it for a moment. So our first one is the chair. And I'm just gonna hang on one second, I'm gonna just change this. To make sure that it's going correctly. Okay, great. So our first position is the chair, and Austin has been listed as that position, the chair. So if you'll take just a moment and tell us about yourself and your reason for position.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys know me, I'm a known quantity. I have deep ties to Central City. My ancestors came here from England in the 1850s and lived in Central City. And I moved here just 4 years ago. It feels really awesome to be walking the same streets that they did. I'm married, I have 2 kids. I work for the city government in the redevelopment agency. And I love all things land use, transportation, real estate development, city policy and politics. I really care about making our neighborhood safer and cleaner, more walkable, a better place to live. And, you guys have seen me do that here through the neighborhood council when Rihanna and I revived it back in 2022, 2021, something like that. So I am happy to run for chair and lead this council, and I'd love to have your vote. Thanks.
Here, here. And if you would please go ahead and do your vote.
So I'm. You can just start.
Do you actually, yeah, I should have added music. I could have.
So we're all going to Charlie Child's after, right? All the council done, you're not.
Yeah, Vulcan season.
I was gonna say, welcome to you, baby.
Yeah.
So,
I guess
so in the past, we've had naysayers, but I haven't supported, more than we're for the city. Are we all cleared on that area? Are we all happy with the fact that you work for the city and so?
Yeah, I just have to be clear. So when I'm here, I'm not here representing the city government. Right? When I'm working on Central City stuff, that's my time. I'm doing that as a volunteer. I'm using my own resources. I'm not doing it through my job. Right? When I'm in City Hall, that's my job. I'm doing city government work. And I've talked with my boss, and it's all good. He knows that I'm running for chair, and he's fine.
Okay. Well, let me just.
Question.
If there was a glaring conflict, I'm sure
Okay.
you'd excuse yourself.
Very clearly, Austin, we would like to thank you and go ahead and say. Okay, so next is going to be the vice chair, and I am listed as the only candidate for that position. We'll go ahead and do that, but really quickly, a few things about me. I've been in the Central City neighborhood for almost 3 years now, and I really want to continue the momentum of the things that we've built over the past year, and I think over the next year, I'm really excited to see the direction of where things go. I really love diversity, equity, inclusion, all the things that I'm not supposed to say at work, but I can say here, and things that are really important to me to ensure there is equity in our neighborhood and be able to give our community a voice. And so that's kind of where those things are really important to me. So go ahead, and you have 90 seconds, not minute, second.
There's no way to.
It is now. Thank you.
I worked toward, I'll have a partner call me. Is that a
And
stage?
she's also the first stage.
Yeah, so that is on. I mean, I could.
Well, we should ask Jen some questions about herself, because it has to run. Where did you move from?
Oh, I moved from Eagle Mountain. My husband and I built a house out there in 1999. We raised our kids out there. But we spent all of our time in Salt Lake because we love Salt Lake and we were excited to get out of the land of Stepford wives and into where we knew we belonged. Yeah.
Are you from Utah?
I am. I grew up mainly in Provo and then I lived in Southern California for a while.
Doing skiers.
Neither, but my son did teach at Brighton and my husband is now a skier. I am like an elephant on roller skates.
Say, we could go hiking.
Okay, yeah, I love hiking. I do it all the time.
Do you snowshoe?
No, but I want to try.
Cross countries.
Yeah, no.
I like cross country.
Yeah,
It's cheap and it's safe.
yeah, yeah. That'd be awesome. Okay, yay.
Okay.
Okay, so our next position is, let me just make sure this is correct, is going to be secretary. And we do have one candidate who is our own Annie Isaacson. Yeah. And Amy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I'm originally from New Jersey. I've lived here all over 8 years. I've lived all over, but came here to retire. And didn't really think I would be getting involved with things outside of myself. But in almost 3 years ago, the Overland project I got noticed about, and planning told me to reach out to Rihanna, which I did, and Rihanna was just, I didn't know anything about CCNC. And Rihanna was just so welcoming and helpful, and you guys set the stage for an almost 3-year challenge. Lauren's been here for about a year, and she joined us in our HOA, and we kind of won. And it's something is always going to drop somewhere, but I just feel like CCNC is really important. And I know before Rihanna and Austin picked it up, Cindy promotes a lot. She's like a great mentor to people. And I just think we have a really good neighborhood council, and I want to support it and be part of it and help other people the way I've been helped. So.
Here we go. 90 seconds.
Questions for Andy during these 90 seconds?
Who's your favorite artist? Yeah, Softy, the one that did the slugger.
Solid.
What's your favorite part of living in the city?
You know what? Walking my dogs and the dry air and then the snow melts right away.
Where are you from originally?
New Jersey, I'm a Jersey girl, not New York, those guys.
So a question on the current building, which, if you guys don't know, I think current closed, and so the building's up for lease again. What would you want to see in that building?
Oh, okay, so I thought Salt and Olive was moving there because their space is secretly for lease, which I forwarded to you.
Yeah.
Someone else in my building thought that there's a Japanese fusion moving in, they're already renovating. It's already being renovated.
I was told.
That's what they do.
Italian.
Okay.
It
Well,
might be.
if we're getting down to time, what would you want?
Okay. If it would be Bellows, because then I
Yeah.
just walk right. Yeah.
Best pizza.
Yeah, anyone wants to go with me, just let me know.
Okay, poll is closed, and we can easily say we declare Annie as elected. Now we have the treasurer, and we did not have an actual person that wanted to take on that position. However, Austin has served as treasurer and is willing to continue those responsibilities. Rather than have Austin tell us why, we can go ahead and just do a vote for that.
Okay.
Wait, so who's, wait, I think the chair, you the chair and treasurer?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I didn't know. I'm just just making sure it's good with the IRMs.
He was like, no.
We're good, I'm fine.
Okay.
And
That was a little tight on it, he was like, no.
I mean, if anyone has last minute desires to get on this board, you can do that.
I'm pretty sure.
You can do an at-large position, just generic.
I will say the treasurer would work with our mayor. Outside of like just the organizational treasurer.
Well, if nobody else wants to do it, I'll
Yeah. Wait, how do I change? Oh, no. Hang on, you guys.
Okay, thank you.
We had a last minute, so we're gonna make a quick change. Hang on just one moment. All right, Ben, you ready? Hey, Ben, you ready to come up?
Ben, can you speak first?
Oh, I'm generally not doing treasury work, but I am currently employed, so. But I guess I'm just being responsible.
You know what, this is the ground.
Yeah. And I would really like to stand in the way of any investment.
We've been pocketing all the donations for the city.
Normally I deal more with the
Ben, what's your last name? Sorry.
Ingle Eaton.
We're gonna make a bad joke, I'm like, hey, let's go.
But I do enjoy working with the community sometimes.
And get up.
And we're going to reopen that. And the time has begun.
And I'm sure everyone knows, but Ben's been such a key leader in the northern part of Central City. Just getting the area cleaned up and getting, police and city attention to that area.
Did you go to the small business Saturday there?
But no one was aware of this.
On 100 and.
Yeah, they were giving out jobs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I haven't, figured it out.
No, small business Saturday was for shopping.
Oh, yeah,
But actually, bakery is hiring. The vegan donut shop.
yeah. Funny enough, I saw that their van was used.
The what?
Their van was used in the parking lot, so the
Oh,
security
no.
footage, and then I saw the car. They're gonna find out who these report too, because the car that hit the car, like, actually had these come, to file a report for the accident. And it was that car, it was a pickup truck that they dropped out people that I believe put that ladder on the piece of the. But they're there to scrap copper, but get a sheet. That's kind of been an ongoing issue. It's like, oh, it's just kind of funny. You'd be in the nose, curious, like, oh, I wonder what, but if you got like a vendor in the parking lot, sure enough, that's what it was.
Oh, I didn't share.
They ain't sure some of your.
Well,
Someone didn't change their vote.
Okay,
Oh.
so, but we do have a majority, so that 91% voted for Ben, so
For your support.
then we now do like.
And Ben is gonna make us pick up trash.
I don't think that's the treasure.
Okay, next we have our final position, that's an at-large board position, and we have, Seth Brown, who We're very grateful, has put in his name in there as an at-large. And Ben, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and Seth, sorry. I know, I do know that. Seth.
Thank you. I'd like to be an at-large member of the board because I think having a strong neighborhood council strengthens our ability to advocate for our neighbors and for our community here. Kind of as you saw with the development of just on screen, kind of the work you guys do and the work you have been doing, I think makes a huge impact. I've seen that in how meetings. I'd love to be a part of it. A bit about me, I'm originally from Salt Lake City. I lived in the Marmalade district until I went to school in DC. Moved back here. I now live downtown with my girlfriend. And I'm just excited to contribute to this. I work in marketing, my day job. I'm on the board of the Walks Arts District, which encompasses. That is a very old picture. Do not show anybody that.
Brandy's on it, she's
Yeah. But community organizing, arts and events organizing is a huge thing that I'm a part of. So just kind of want to be a Swiss Army knife for the organization and help where I'm needed and sort of build this organization into something really strong and a stable community. So. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll have 90 seconds for your vote for Steph.
Time for questions.
Is at large, is it just being like an additional member to the council?
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
what I'm taking, okay.
Yeah.
It's just within Century City, not
Within Central City.
That's not what it is.
You're like, no, that's really-
I'm not saying.
Everybody.
So what's your favorite public art downtown?
Good question.
I'll be honest, I'm not truly inspired by that much public art downtown. I've talked to the Arts Council about that quite a bit. I think there's more engaging, interactive art downtown. Obviously, the whale is a huge staple. That's night to night, but I think there's a lot more efforts in the Arts Council to have more interactive art, especially that engages children downtown. So,
Where is mine?
just west of the Capitol, but now I live at the Ridge.
Ah.
Well, oh yeah, where are you? Oh,
Yeah.
They're also making photos and stuff.
No, that was her.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
You gotta get us into the Worthington amenities.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Hey, CCNC full party, yeah.
Yes.
The Worthington, the noise.
Oh, they already replaced it.
Oh, okay.
It will always be the whistle.
Yeah.
Okay, voting is closed and Seth is now elected as that concludes our elections. Thanks to everyone who ran and are willing to. And also thank you for all of their service and work. And we hope that they can continue to show up on occasion, and especially Rihanna.
Rihanna. And thank you, Jenny. Thanks to all the new board members. We're gonna do an introduction email
Yeah.
with all the new board members. We'll send in the newsletter. We'll put it on our website so everyone knows who's on here. And for our last thing, I forgot your name, but you're from East Liberty, and you're gonna talk to us about the Liberty Park greenhouses, right?
Yes.
Yes. Do you need to present any images on the screen?
You know, as a senior, I have families. My one would have cheese, so I just brought a few.
Okay, that sounds great.
But so there's 8 of them here, kind of maybe share a little bit. More here, share a little bit. My name is Mike Dale. I was actually here 2 years ago. And 3 years ago, maybe several. Years ago. And I asked the council at this, at the time, to support a CIP grant. And after one or two iterations, it was through last year. We got $124,000 for the greenhouse. And that really was focused on looking at the structure itself, taking the walls to the students, so it's good next to that. And also some design for the walls. Here's where we're at right now. We have contracted with the Department of Architecture, and they have gone through done some hearings, so got an idea what that use of that building might be, and started to put together some renderings. Now, the closed greenhouse is a little bit of a misnomer. It's become much more label. The public has spoken, and they say like see more access to the things like a city greenhouse in the rear, but at the same time, conservatory maybe in a column house as well. So accessibility will be important. So right now we're at in terms of we're still working with the university to final drafts so that the land planning department can start walking head around, doing some fiscal. So that's sort of where we're at right now. I'm going to switch topics. So there's no other questions about excuse me, the multi-purpose portable concerns.
What, yeah, I want to know, are you allowed to grow your own vegetables here? Like,
Oh, there's been some talk about that. Again, there hasn't been any decisions made about that. It could be, again, possibility. Again, I think I'm looking at it as a demonstration right on more than that.
I mentioned, or Michael, planning commission did a survey nationally of the commercial use of car spaces.
Yes.
Like Nancy and dig that up, very search, planning records. But that study was already done. It was never adopted by CCNC. And I am concerned about competition with what Tracy Avery very generously offers already in terms of a place for snacks and coffee, as well as meeting spaces and reception areas. Sure. So I'm concerned about something that would Tracy has been very generous in hosting community organization. I believe that's a no cost for Spear.
You know, I just want to clarify, is that we don't have access to the Tracy Avery to the extent that we have in the past, because they have come up with their, so they do it in low cost, but we're only getting able to one cost.
Yeah, I met in that space the last time I was. Okay. So anyway, we need to get that set up. The work's been done. We need to get that national survey to people that are working on the project. Already been done. By the things. So anyway, that's my comment. Concerned about commercialization of our person.
Well, I think I know the land planning department is looking at some designs. I think it's still looking better than all solutions. And so there are those concerns for the interest there. But yes, I think that's really important. Okay. So.
Is there a time for you?
Oh my gosh.
Best case scenario.
Not that I'm aware. I heard some rumors out there thinking about starting with finalized the design sometime. One of the things I want to do is to be able to come back to this council and show those renderings, your input, as you guys are, individually involved as well. So it's not a done deal in any sort of way. We need to get something on paper that people are getting. So what I really came to talking about wasn't that.
Wow.
Right right now is something called the Lens Moving Part. The context is the following. When we had our last strategic meeting, they asked me to start thinking about putting together a Lens Moving Part organization. The idea there would be to go ahead and give some momentum, some community support, get behind the greenhouse and just build our place out. In addition, they thought it would be nice to have an organization that there are other organizations you can see down at the bottom of the things that come out. There's one for Philadelphia, there's one for the cemetery, there's one for Fairmont, and they would like to have a comparable for the spot. So at this point in time, I'm coming to you and saying, I'm going to start that work and I would love to have hands on. And the work that I'm looking at is the items of above. First of all, some organizational design issues. You got to kind of cut out what's going to be the mission, vision, the guiding principles for this organization to be determined. But at the same time, work on the scope of work. And there's some items there that actually comes from the land planning department themselves. If they have their druthers, they like to season dress those type of things. Again, it's food for thought for us more than anything else. So the invite here would be, why don't we get, I can bring back my work, other people's work, and maybe collaboratively with you, start to identify with the mission, vision, principles that should be in the scope of work. So you can have that opportunity to get it put on the design itself. Then after that, that's the fun part. The other stuff is governance issues, bylaws, which should be the structure for the program itself. But that's stuff that, again, we'll have to turn to some people with expertise, but that will be a way of formalizing options. And the last thing, this is probably moving down the line, is we start thinking about the capacity of that organization should be obviously creating memberships, getting people to join, but also at the same time partnering and finding and networking. So you bring other organizations into it as well. So we can tap into their expertise and the resources. So this is something we're starting to build a bicycle, and if you want to get on the ride, you want to go, let's move. So there is a soft aspect, and I mentioned that first of all, what your thoughts and perspectives on what I just said, and so there's something I missed, or something I should know about before I start. The other thing is, the second is soft ask, is the reinvite. If you don't mind, I'd like to come back to this organization, not next month, or maybe a couple months from now, and give you ideas with some of the things we're starting to find. And then finally, again, support the cause. If at some point you go, God, I really love writing bylaws. I really do so much chance. But again, at some point, you know someone you're not with that has especially part, you'll never see nobody idea about there's some mushroom bones to this kind of real brand to talk. At the bottom is my contact. Yeah, the C440, that is, I'm not a solo national from St. Louis. And then we will highlight our case university for way too long, 3 initiatives. And I talked about leadership and national. And I looked at the university and the national speech.
He was all over that.
I was all like,
It's just new.
Once you move for your product.
I love your city.
Why did you end up here?
Bill Collector couldn't find me. No. My son went to Westminster. He was going to come back to work. So, you gotta close your kids from both their health.
I just have one thought. Maybe, if someone here isn't interested, I bet there's dozens and dozens of people out there that would be interested. There's so many people who like Liberty Park and use Liberty Park. I feel like if you got permission from the city, you could put signs in a couple of key spots in the park and you could attract quite a bit of attention from that. We'll absolutely put in there. We'll put I think for now we can do your contact information then. Okay.
Yes, through your efforts and your networking and your friends and your acquaintances as well. So for sure. Yes, we reached out to the British House Community Council. Well, then we have, and then I'll get it done with, these, this group of funds.
Okay, and then also, city has a parks unit board that also advises,
As you know.
the city has a unit board for parks and recreation. Everybody knows.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Parks, national lands, trails.
This here makes our work.
So they also advise us, as well.
Okay.
Town park also has been, that was really good.
See that,
But I think that she actually some of those individuals, that would.
that's, that was one. Exactly what it's looking for.
So I think so. So, I don't know if you guys all know, but Liberty Park is overseen, like within our boundaries of 3 separate community councils. Liberty Wells, Liberty Park, and Central. And we all try and work really hard together to take care of Liberty Park, both in like the cultural landscape, things that are happening now, the playground, the new fountain, the park cleanups, and working with the heart to on but one thing is that it's pretty overwhelming. It's a wonderful regional park that so many people from so many parts of Salt Lake City realize that we all, I can speak for everyone here, and Randy, we get a little overwhelmed. So we're really excited about this initiative that Michael, working along with our Parks Department already, is great. So, he's been working on this really definitely for quite a while, for 3 years, and really has amassed this broad amount of knowledge, but also he knows how the music to put it that way. So we're really excited that what that do. I personally encourage you to jump on board with Michael on anything he does, because he's really finding the work.
That's it. So thanks everyone. Are there any last announcements?
Are there any other questions too?
Okay, well, we're gonna onboard these guys within the next few weeks.
So more generally, in this open discussion, I mentioned a thing at the city council meeting about the new grant that they have for surveillance cameras. And there's a website called dblock.me where you can go see where all of these block cameras are. And for the most popular kind of license plate reader surveillance that we have in the country. And this company has had a lot of bad security problems, and it's the kind of mass surveillance where you can use it to de-anonymize information because of people's cars are very personal and very so I just asked the city council to please consider not using block for that reason. And on that dblock.me, you can see where the block cameras are in the city, which look like they're mostly from the state. They're all like on the state roads and different. Yeah. Yeah, that was, maintenance way from you. Yeah. Yeah, that one is the black camera.
So what
Oh,
does
that's
that do,
one?
G-Block, that gets you off the app?
No, this is just a list of where people have documented all of the locations of the black cameras, where they're pointed at.
It's to share information, especially for those that are
Yeah.
concerned about ICE involvement, things like that.
Yeah, the intent is, very great for what block is doing, and one of the things I do a lot of is like security camera stuff, and people get a little weirded out with security camera stuff. This is I think the primary example of why it is appropriate to have about camera stuff. Because this isn't even about, the one person who's stalking is a girlfriend on campus that works, for an agency. This is like mass surveillance where you've got correlation of data that can be, used in very subversive ways, you know, when we talk about mass surveillance,
Seems like these are mostly UDOT cameras.
right.
They're all on UDOT roads.
So, you know, it automatically recognizes license plate numbers with the public camera. You know, practice every time you go in and out of the city.
So this is just a quick question, because I didn't first, but this surveillance situation is something that people are trying to spread information about, just so. people
No,
know,
no.
right?
So like the way the clock works is they collect all of this information in their cloud database, like that, but they don't keep it very secure. One of the things, like just their individual cameras have been notoriously insecure, and they don't really enforce a lot of security. One of the things that I do with my cameras is, you know, making sure that number one, things aren't like cloud-based and the security is more locally controlled, and you know, being a community trying to use technology to solve problems, I think there's probably a better place to be versus having larger and larger parts of the government.
The concern is someone could just hack in and get this information because they're not secure.
And there's, you just go look at like Block on YouTube to find plenty of examples of people, you know, actually into the cameras and what they say. And the thing that I brought to the city council was that there's a couple of national representatives that have like filed for PC to look with them because they don't require to FA. So that's a security problem, but it doesn't way beyond to FA.
Why are they keeping the issue about commercial?
Because they make lots of money when it comes to FA.
Okay,
Yeah, anybody that wants to
people, thank you, man. Let's be done. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh. Yeah.
Great. I learned, sorry. There's concerns on the chat. Yeah.
So next steps, I just.
Yes.